I had never really thought about being an investor as a career path, but now I want to be the person who is making bets on early stage startups. It's definitely changed the trajectory of my career because I now see it as something that I can do forever. I'm Erin Bury, and I am an early stage startup investor. It wasn't sexy to start a company when I was growing up. It took a couple of years after I graduated to get into the entrepreneurship world and to start working with entrepreneurs. And as soon as I was exposed to the world of startups, I fell in love with it. I loved the passion, the drive, the origin stories behind each of these companies, and I just made it my focus to work with them, work at them, write about them. And for the past 5 years, I've been running the team at 88, helping them market their businesses. So I think if I hadn't worked in startups and been immersed in that space for the last 10 years, I'm not sure I would even know what an angel investor was. I would probably only know about entrepreneurship and investing through popular movies and popular culture. Being in startups prepared me for how to evaluate startups. And I'm not saying that I'm going to bet on sure things, but I think it's taught me to discard the trends and look for substance and look for the passion of the entrepreneur. Every great entrepreneur that I know has a combination of passion, tenacity, resourcefulness, and just this attitude that no matter how they're going to get there, they're going to get there.
I'm Jacqueline Leung, and I am the founder and editor-in-chief of Pressed News. Pressed is a digital media startup in Toronto that makes world issues easier and more accessible for young people who don't normally follow the news. We knew that we needed to start raising money when we started to feel a lot of momentum.
A friend of mine emailed me and said, "Hey, I know you have a journalism background, and I just met with this entrepreneur who's launching a media company. Would you be open to meeting with her?" And naturally, as I always do, I said, "Yeah, absolutely, do an intro, would love to have her in."
I just went in hoping to get some really great advice because I was having trouble convincing people that a media business could make money in this time.
I think oftentimes you pitch to a room full of investors who aren't your target customer. I was different. She was really filling a gap that I experienced as a consumer. So as she was talking, I just realized I actually really love this idea. I think this woman can absolutely build this, and I want to be a part of it.
I didn't have to pitch her, she got it. And she got the problem as well because she was facing it. She really seemed to understand where I was coming from. And by the end of it, she said,
"I believe in you, and I want this to be a signal of that and the fact that you have something here, and so let me invest." The fact that I was pretty inexperienced when doing the deal with Jacqueline really meant that I really trusted her throughout the process to kind of guide me in what she needed. And I think part of that might be inexperience, but part of it is also just not knowing what to look for. So I wish there had been education around all these kind of general knowledge questions that you learn as you go through the process that I think, a first-time investor wouldn't know, like what a term sheet is, what the different components of it are, how do I actually give the person money, what are my obligations on my taxes, what are the differences between asset classes of shares. I don't know that it's easy to find those answers because there are very few resources for first-time angel investors or for new angel investors. So I think having other people to model for me in the community and show me what angel investing involves has been really helpful. But to me, having easy online access to resources is the next key, where if we want the next generation of me's to write that first check, we really have to be promoting those resources. I also wish I had known how easy it is to become an angel investor and the fact that you don't need $1 million to get started.
I think that there's definitely this myth with angel investing that you have to have a lot of money in order to write a check. Most of our checks were $5,000 to $10,000, and we probably ran our business for a year from that.
I'm definitely planning to make more angel investments when I can. Investing in early stage startups is something that I know, it's something I think I could be really good at. And at the end of the day, even if it doesn't result in me getting $1 billion exit, it means that I get to work with really interesting entrepreneurs and be a part of the startup world in a more meaningful way than just being a spectator from the sidelines.